Have you ever dropped serious money on a bottle of cognac that looked premium but tasted like overpriced harshness? You're not alone. Americans spend billions on cognac every year, from corner store bottles to luxury pours that cost more than rent. But not every famous name deserves the hype. Today we're ranking 15 cognac brands from absolute worst to truly exceptional, from bottom shelf regrets to liquid gold worth every penny. 15. E&J VS. Walk into any American liquor store, and you'll find E&J sitting right there on the bottom shelf, usually wedged between plastic bottles and broken dreams. Technically, it's not even cognac, it's California brandy. But it's marketed aggressively enough that most casual drinkers assume it's the real deal. Founded in 1975 by Ernest and Julio Gallo, E&J was designed for one purpose: volume over virtue. The bottle promises smoothness. The liquid delivers something else entirely. Pour it, and the aroma hits harsh. Raw alcohol, faint caramel, and a chemical sweetness that feels more like flavoring than aging. Take a sip, and the burn arrives fast. There's a flash of artificial vanilla, a whisper of oak that might just be your imagination, and a finish that clings to your throat like regret. E&J thrives because it's cheap, available everywhere, and mixes well enough with cola or juice to hide what's actually happening in the glass. It's the brandy of backyard barbecues, late-night parties, and anyone who wants the look of sipping brown liquor without the cost. To be fair, it never pretends to be refined. It's functional alcohol dressed in amber, but here's the truth. Real cognac is aged in Limousin oak barrels in the Cognac region of France under strict regulations. E&J skips all of that. It's grape spirit aged fast in California, bottled quickly, and shipped out to meet demand. The result is a product that tastes rushed because it was. E&J VS lands at the bottom because while it fills a glass, it never fills the promise of what cognac should be: cheap, harsh, and forgettable. 14. Courvoisier VS. Courvoisier loves to tell you about Napoleon. The label whispers imperial prestige, the marketing leans heavily on French heritage, and the bottle sits on shelves worldwide as if history alone justifies the pour. Founded in 1828, Courvoisier built its reputation on being the cognac of emperors. But somewhere between then and now, the recipe lost its crown. Courvoisier VS is the entry-level expression, and it shows. The nose offers faint fruit, a whisper of floral notes, and not much else. It's light, almost timid. On the palate, it's thin and sharp, a flash of citrus, some vague sweetness, and a finish that disappears faster than your interest in a second glass. There's no depth, no richness, just a hurried sprint from pour to done. The brand's cultural cachet kept it alive. Hip-hop famously name-dropped it. Busta Rhymes rapped about it. Music videos featured it. For a while, Courvoisier VS was the cognac of aspiration, the bottle you ordered to look successful, even if the taste didn't back it up. And that's the problem. It traded on image while the liquid stayed shallow. To be fair, Courvoisier makes excellent cognacs higher up the range. But VS is where most people meet the brand, and it rarely makes a good first impression. It's smooth enough not to offend, but bland enough never to excite. The kind of cognac you pour at a crowded party where no one's really paying attention. Courvoisier VS earns this low spot because legacy without liquid is just marketing. Napoleon may have loved the house, but this expression tastes like something an emperor would send back to the kitchen. It's not terrible. It's just disappointingly hollow for a name that once meant greatness. 13. Martell VS. Martell holds the title of the oldest of the great cognac houses. Founded in 1715 by Jean Martel. Over 3 centuries, the brand built a reputation for elegance and innovation. But walk into a bar today and order Martell VS, and you'll wonder where all that history went. Because this entry-level bottle feels like it forgot its own story. The pour is pale gold, lighter than most cognacs at this level. The aroma hints at flowers, maybe a touch of pear, but it's so faint you have to lean in just to catch it. On the tongue, it's even thinner, a fleeting sweetness, a whisper of fruit, and then nothing. The finish barely exists. It's like sipping air that once met a grape. Martell's house style is famously delicate, emphasizing finesse over power. But in the VS, that delicacy tips into weakness. There's no structure, no backbone. It's cognac for people who don't want to taste cognac. Smooth to the point of invisibility, inoffensive to the point of irrelevance. What makes this frustrating is knowing what Martell can do. Their higher expressions showcase the elegance that made the house legendary. But the VS feels like a compromise, watered down to meet price points and volume demands. It's the cognac equivalent of a whisper in a loud room, technically there, but impossible to hear. Martell VS stays in the bottom tier because while it carries a noble name, it delivers a forgettable experience. Centuries of tradition should amount to more than this. It's not harsh or offensive, it's just empty. And for a house with this much heritage, empty feels like a betrayal. 12. Rémy Martin VSOP. That centaur on the label is one of the most recognizable symbols in the spirits world. Rémy Martin has spent decades positioning itself as the connoisseur's choice, the cognac for those who know. And to their credit, they source exclusively from the Grand Champagne and Petit Champagne regions, the two finest cru and cognac. That fine champagne designation sits proudly on every bottle. But the VSOP expression doesn't quite deliver on that promise. The nose is pleasant enough. Apricot, vanilla, a hint of spice. It's inviting in a safe, predictable way. On the palate, the sweetness dominates. Caramel, dried fruit, and a creamy texture that coats the tongue. The finish is smooth, warm, and short. It's designed to please everyone, which means it excites no one. Rémy Martin VSOP is the cognac of airport duty-free shops and hotel bars. Respectable, reliable, and utterly middle of the road. It's what you order when you want to look like you know cognac without taking any risks. And that's fine for casual drinking, but for a house that prides itself on terroir and craftsmanship, this feels like playing it too safe. The problem isn't that it tastes bad, it's that it tastes forgettable. The fine champagne grapes should bring complexity and depth. Instead, they're smoothed over, sweetened up, and bottled for mass appeal. It's cognac as background music. Pleasant, but never the reason you showed up. Rémy Martin VSOP sits here because it represents wasted potential. The ingredients are elite. The execution is mediocre. For the price and the pedigree, you deserve more than smooth and sweet. You deserve character. And this bottle leaves that behind in favor of comfort. 11. Hennessy VS. Hennessy is the 800-pound gorilla of the cognac world. It's the best-selling cognac on the planet, moving over 70 million bottles a year. Walk into any bar, any liquor store, any music video, and you'll see that iconic label. Hennessy built a global empire not through subtlety, but through sheer ubiquity. And the VS expression is where most people meet the brand. The pour is amber, the aroma sharp. You get vanilla, oak, a hint of spice, and a noticeable alcohol bite even before you sip. On the palate, it's young and aggressive. There's fruit buried somewhere under the heat, some caramel sweetness trying to balance the sharpness, but the youth dominates. The finish is quick and fiery, leaving a burn that reminds you this is entry-level juice. Hennessy VS is built for mixing. Cola, ginger ale, juice, anything to soften the edges and mask the roughness. Neat or on the rocks, it's a challenge. Not because it's complex, but because it's unrefined. It's the cognac equivalent of a loudmouth at a party. Present, impossible to ignore, but not exactly pleasant company. But here's the thing. Hennessy's cultural dominance isn't an accident. Hip-hop embraced it. Celebrities endorsed it. It became a status symbol, a shorthand for success. For many Americans, Hennessy is cognac. The brand is the category. And that marketing power keeps it moving off shelves faster than any competitor. Hennessy VS ranks here because while it wins on recognition, it loses on refinement. It's the entry point, not the destination. The gateway drug to better cognacs, not the final stop. Millions drink it, far fewer savor it. And for a house capable of producing extraordinary spirits, the VS feels like the bare minimum bottled and shipped worldwide. If you're following this journey from bottom shelf to brilliance, show some love, hit that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss the next ranking. We're about to step into premium territory where cognac stops being background noise and starts demanding your full attention. Let's keep pouring. 10. Courvoisier VSOP. Step up from the VS, and Courvoisier finally starts to remember who it is. The VSOP carries that same imperial branding, but this time, there's actual substance behind the story. Aged longer, blended with more care, and bottled with a smoothness that suggests someone in Cognac actually tasted this before shipping it out. The nose opens warmer than the VS. Baked apple, honey, a hint of toasted oak that feels earned rather than added. On the palate, it's rounder, softer, more complete. Caramel and vanilla lead, followed by dried fruit and a gentle spice that lingers just long enough to feel intentional. The finish is smooth, warm, and clean. No harshness, no chemical burn, just a pleasant fade. Courvoisier VSOP is the cognac of weddings and corporate events. The bottle you bring to a dinner party when you want to look thoughtful without spending rent money. It's polished, presentable, and unlikely to offend anyone. And that's both its strength and its limitation. It's so focused on being agreeable that it forgets to be interesting. The truth is, Courvoisier VSOP does exactly what it's designed to do. It introduces casual drinkers to what real cognac can taste like without overwhelming them. It's smooth enough for beginners, refined enough that enthusiasts won't scoff, but it never pushes boundaries or challenges expectations. It sits comfortably in the safe zone. Courvoisier VSOP lands here because while it's competent, it's not compelling. It's a step up from the bottom, but still a long way from greatness. The Napoleon connection finally starts to make sense at this level, but the liquid still whispers when it could sing. It's good cognac, just not great cognac. And in a ranking like this, good only gets you halfway. 9. Martell VSO. Here's where Martell starts to wake up. The VSOP expression finally showcases what 3 centuries of distilling knowledge should taste like. Gone is the hollow thinness of the VS. In its place, a cognac that actually carries weight, character, and the faintest hint of that legendary Martell elegance. The color deepens to amber honey, the aroma opens with dried apricot, warm spice, and a floral note that dances around the edges without overpowering. On the palate, the house style emerges. It's still lighter than Hennessy or Courvoisier, but now that lightness feels intentional. Delicate layers of fruit, vanilla, and toasted almond build slowly, supported by a backbone of oak that gives it structure. The finish is longer, warmer, and leaves traces of cinnamon and caramel. Martell VSOP is the bottle that makes you reconsider the brand. If you tried the VS and dismissed the house, this one asks for a second chance. It's refined without being boring, smooth without disappearing. It pairs beautifully with cigars, dark chocolate, or quiet conversation. Still, there's restraint here that borders on timidity. Martell's emphasis on finesse sometimes feels like fear of boldness. While other houses punch you with flavor, Martell politely taps your shoulder. For some drinkers, that subtlety is sophisticated. For others, it's underwhelming. Martell VSOP earns this spot because it's a well-crafted introduction to the house's philosophy. It proves Martell knows what it's doing, even if it's not always willing to show off. It's the quiet professional in a room full of loud personalities. Respectable, reliable, and just interesting enough to keep your attention, but not quite bold enough to demand it. 8. Hennessy VSOP. This is where Hennessy finally shows up. The VS was harsh and young, built for mixing and marketing. The VSOP is where the house remembers it's been making cognac since 1765. Aged longer, blended smarter, and bottled with the kind of confidence that suggests they actually want you to taste it neat. The nose is immediately richer, dark fruit, vanilla bean, toasted oak, and a hint of spice that promises warmth without aggression. On the palate, it delivers. Layers of flavor unfold, caramel and dried apricot up front, cinnamon and nutmeg in the middle, then a slow fade of oak and honey. The texture is fuller, the finish longer, and the balance finally clicks into place. Hennessy VSOP is the bar standard for good reason. It's what seasoned bartenders reach for when building elevated cocktails. It's what whiskey drinkers order when they want to explore cognac without feeling lost. And it's what Hennessy loyalists point to when defending the brand against critics who dismiss it as all hype. The cultural weight still hangs heavy. You can't escape the brand's ubiquity or the celebrity associations. But at this level, the liquid actually justifies some of the fame. It's not just marketing. There's real craftsmanship here, real depth, real balance. Hennessy VSOP ranks here because it's the proof that the world's biggest cognac house can deliver quality when it wants to. It's not the most elegant or the most complex, but it's solid, dependable, and genuinely enjoyable. This is the Hennessy that makes you understand why the brand became a giant, not through tricks, but through consistent execution. It's where reputation meets reality, and both hold up. 7. Hein Rare VSOP. If Martell is quiet elegance, Hein is the whisper you lean in to hear. Founded in 1817 and still family-owned, this English cognac house operates in the shadows of the giants. No celebrity endorsements, no music video placements, just centuries of obsessive craftsmanship distilled into every bottle. The Rare VSOP is where connoisseurs start paying attention. The color glows pale gold. The aroma is delicate but complex. White flowers, citrus zest, vanilla cream, and a hint of jasmine that feels almost perfume-like. On the palate, it's silky and refined. Honey, white, peach, almond, and a gentle oakiness that supports without dominating. The finish is long, clean, and elegant. No burn, no harshness, just a graceful fade that invites another sip. Hein's house style emphasizes finesse over power. They age exclusively in dry cellars, which preserves the fruit and floral notes instead of pushing heavy oak. The result is a cognac that feels graceful, feminine, sophisticated. It's the cognac of Michelin-starred restaurants, private collections, and people who read about terroir for fun. The challenge with Hein is visibility. Most Americans have never heard of it. It's not in every bar or liquor store. Finding a bottle requires effort, but for those who seek it out, the reward is immediate. This is cognac that reminds you the spirit can be subtle and still stunning. Hein Rare. VSOP ranks here because it delivers quality without shouting. It's refined, complex, and beautifully balanced. It doesn't need marketing because the liquid speaks for itself. For anyone tired of aggressive cognacs or cloying sweetness, Hein offers an alternative, quiet, confident, and absolutely worth discovering. 6. Pierre Ferrand. Ambre. Pierre Ferrand represents the new guard of cognac, family-owned, fiercely independent, and obsessively transparent about aging and production. The Ambre expression carries a 10-year age statement, which is almost unheard of in VSOP territory. Most houses blend younger eau de vie and slap VSOP on the label. Ferrand tells you exactly what you're getting. 10 years in barrel, no shortcuts. The color is deep amber copper. The nose is immediately warmer and richer than anything else at this price point. Toffee, dark chocolate, orange peel, baking spice, and a hint of tobacco leaf. On the palate, it's full-bodied and intense. Dried fig, roasted nuts, caramel, and a peppery spice that builds as it lingers. The finish is long, warming, and leaves traces of cocoa and oak. What sets Pierre Ferrand apart is honesty. No additives, no coloring, no sugar. Just grapes, oak, and thyme. Alexandre Gabriel, the master blender, obsesses over terroir, barrel selection, and transparency. He publishes vineyard maps, aging details, and production methods. It's cognac for people who want to know what they're drinking and why it tastes that way. The Amber bridges worlds. It's complex enough for serious enthusiasts, but approachable enough for curious newcomers. It elevates cocktails without disappearing and rewards patient sipping. For the price, it punches well above its weight. Some XO expressions don't deliver this much character. Pierre Ferrand Ambre earns this spot because it proves modern cognac can honor tradition while embracing transparency. It's rich, spicy, honest, and of exceptional value. In a category often clouded by vague age statements and marketing mystique, Ferrand simply delivers great liquid and tells you how they made it. That integrity, paired with genuine quality, deserves recognition. 5. Rémy Martin XO, where Rémy Martin finally earns its reputation. The VSOP was safe and forgettable. The XO is neither. Aged a minimum of 10 years, though many components are much older, this expression showcases what fine champagne grapes can do when given time and attention. The centaur on this bottle isn't just branding, it's a promise kept. The color is deep mahogany. The aroma is luxurious and layered. Dried fruit, leather, cinnamon, vanilla pod, and candied orange peel. It smells expensive, like opening a humidor filled with aged cigars and dark chocolate. On the palate, it's velvety and rich. Fig, date, honey, toasted oak, and a warming spice that builds slowly. The finish is long, complex, and evolving. Every sip reveals something new. Remy Martin, XO is the cognac of celebrations, promotions, anniversaries, victories. It's the bottle you save for moments that matter. The liquid feels special, not just because of the price tag, but because the craftsmanship shines through. This is what Fiend Champagne terroir tastes like when handled with respect and patience. Critics sometimes argue Remy leans too sweet, that there's subtle sugar dosage to smooth the edges. But even if that's true, the balance holds. The sweetness never dominates. It supports the fruit and spice, creating a harmony that feels intentional rather than manipulative. Remy Martin. XO ranks here because it delivers on luxury. It's rich, layered, and beautifully constructed. This is the Remy that makes you understand why the house commands premium prices. It's not perfect, but it's genuinely excellent. A celebration in a glass that feels worthy of the occasion. 4. Martell. XO. For 300 years, Martell has been refining its house style, and the XO is where that refinement reaches its peak. This is Martell unleashed, no longer holding back, no longer playing it safe. The elegance that felt timid in the VS and polite in the VSOP finally reveals itself as quiet power. The color is burnished amber gold. The aroma is sophisticated and complex. Dried apricot, walnut, sandalwood, and a floral note that recalls spring gardens. On the palate, it's silky, refined, and layered. Candied fruit, caramel, gentle spice, and that signature Martell lightness, but now supported by deep oak structure. The finish is extraordinarily long, fading slowly through waves of fruit, spice, and wood. Martell XO is cognac for contemplation. It doesn't demand attention, it earns it through subtlety and precision. Every element is in balance. Nothing dominates, nothing hides. It's the liquid equivalent of a perfectly tailored suit, elegant, refined, and quietly confident. This is the bottle wine collectors and whiskey aficionados reach for when they want to explore cognac seriously. It pairs beautifully with fine dining, rewards slow sipping, and improves with air in the glass. It's not showy or loud. It's sophisticated in a way that feels timeless. Martell XO earns this spot because it represents centuries of mastery, distilled into liquid form. It's proof that finesse can be powerful, that elegance doesn't mean weakness. For anyone who appreciates subtlety, precision, and craftsmanship, this is cognac at its most refined. Expensive, yes, but worth every drop. 3. Hein Antique. XO. Hein Antique XO is where English discipline meets French soul. This family-owned house has spent over 2 centuries perfecting cognac production, and this expression represents their pinnacle. Aged a minimum of 10 years, with many components reaching 20 or more, it's a masterclass in blending and patience. The color is deep amber with mahogany edges. The aroma is intoxicating. Jasmine, orange blossom, candied ginger, old leather, and polished wood. It smells like a private library in a French chateau. On the palate, it's silky beyond belief. Rancio notes of old cognac, dried fruit, dark chocolate, espresso, and warming spice. The texture coats your mouth like velvet. The finish is endless, evolving through multiple stages of flavor. What makes Hein Antique special is restraint married to depth. It's powerful without being aggressive, complex without being chaotic. Every element serves a purpose. Nothing is there for show. It's cognac made by people who care more about quality than volume, more about legacy than quarterly earnings. Hein remains relatively unknown in America, which feels criminal. While lesser cognacs dominate shelves through marketing, Hein quietly produces world-class spirit that wine critics and spirits judges consistently rank among the finest made. It's the insider's choice, the bottle-seasoned drinkers seek when they're tired of hype. Hein Antique XO ranks here because it delivers premium quality without premium pretension. It's exceptionally well-made, gorgeously balanced, and proof that small family houses can outperform corporate giants. This is cognac for people who appreciate craftsmanship over celebrity. Refined, elegant, and absolutely stunning. 2. Hennessy XO. Hennessy XO isn't just a cognac. It's the cognac that invented the XO category. In 1870, Maurice Hennessy created this blend for his family and friends, calling it Extra Old. The name stuck. The category was born. And over a century and a half later, Hennessy XO remains the standard by which all other XOs are judged. The bottle itself is iconic, that chunky, muscular decanter designed by Tom Dixon. The amber liquid glowing inside like captured sunlight. Pour it, and the aroma is immediate and powerful. Dried fig, dark chocolate, leather, tobacco, candied fruit, and deep oak. It smells like luxury, complexity, and time. On the palate, it's everything cognac should be. Rich, layered, and perfectly balanced. Waves of flavor roll through. Caramel and vanilla, then plum and apricot, then cinnamon and clove, then oak and pepper. The texture is thick and coating. The finish is extraordinarily long, fading slowly through multiple evolutions. You can spend 20 minutes with one glass and discover new notes every time you return. Hennessy XO is the cognac that converts whiskey drinkers and wine collectors. It's serious, sophisticated, and undeniably premium. The cultural baggage that weighs down the VS doesn't touch this expression. Here, the reputation is earned through liquid excellence. Critics debate whether it's worth the price, but walk into any luxury establishment worldwide, and you'll find Hennessy XO. It's the global benchmark, the cognac by which others measure themselves. Hennessy XO ranks here because it defined what XO means. It's rich, powerful, impeccably balanced, and backed by a century of blending expertise. This is Hennessy at its absolute best. No compromises, no shortcuts. Just world-class cognac that deserves its legendary status. 1. Pierre Ferrand Reserve. Some cognac houses hide behind vague age statements and marketing mystique. Pierre Ferrand does the opposite. The Reserve is a multi-vintage blend, showcasing eau de vie from different years to create complexity and depth. Alexandre Gabriel, the master blender, obsesses over every detail: vineyard selection, distillation methods, barrel aging, blending ratios. Everything is transparent, documented, and done with singular focus. Make the best cognac possible. The color is rich amber with copper highlights. The aroma is breathtaking. Honeycomb, orange marmalade, toasted hazelnut, vanilla bean, and old leather. There's depth here that takes minutes to unpack. On the palate, it's extraordinary. Layers upon layers. Candied fruit, dark chocolate, cinnamon, nutmeg, tobacco leaf, and an underlying mineral quality that speaks to terroir. The texture is luxurious, coating your mouth in silk. The finish is endless, evolving through stage after stage of flavor complexity. What sets Pierre Ferrand Reserve apart is honesty paired with excellence. No additives, no coloring, no sugar. Just grapes, oak, thyme, and obsessive attention to quality. Gabriel sources from single estate vineyards in Grande Champagne. He uses traditional copper pot stills. He ages in Limousin oak. He blends for complexity, not just smoothness. The result is cognac that tastes like place, like history, like craftsmanship. At its price point, usually between $120 and $160, it competes with XOs costing double or triple. Some argue it outperforms cognacs at $500. Blind tastings consistently rank it among the finest available. It's the bottle critics recommend when someone asks for the best cognac under $200. Pierre Ferrand Reserve takes the crown because it represents everything cognac should be. Terroir-driven, transparently made, complex, balanced, and utterly delicious. It's proof that integrity and quality can coexist, that you don't need centuries-old branding or celebrity endorsements to make world-class spirit. Just dedication, knowledge, and a refusal to compromise. In a ranking full of famous names and historic houses, this relatively young independent producer stands tallest, not through marketing, but through merit. The liquid speaks for itself, and what it says is unmistakable. This is cognac at its finest. And there you have it. 15 famous cognac brands ranked from the bottom shelf letdowns to the bottles worth lingering over. Some rely on heritage, others on pure craftsmanship, but only a select few manage to excel at both. No matter your preference, there's a cognac out there that fits your palate and your budget. So, which one are you pouring tonight? Share your pick in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. We've got plenty more rankings coming your way: whiskey, rum, tequila, and everything in between. Here's to good taste, memorable bottles, and the joy of discovering your next favorite pour. Cheers.